Nintendo just dropped a ton of new Mario Kart World info thanks to their 2 days of their Treehouse Live, where they showed off brand new tracks, music information, and just tons of the game modes and mechanics, and lots of other little secret things that you probably didn't catch. There's a lot of new facts about this game, and some that actually surprised me, so we have around 40 brand new facts about Mario Kart World, so you're gonna want to stick in for the ride. There's a lot of stuff that you'll learn from this. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. You guys brought in 524 brand new subscribers the other day. That is absolutely insane. So let's see if we can reach our goal of 350,000. We are literally just 4,000 away. We can actually do it very soon. So let's see if we can get even more subscribers from today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's dive into the brand new facts from Mario Kart World. Now, this fact I kind of talked about yesterday in my character selection video, but yes, do not pay attention to much that's on the screen. Screen and character lineup has been different for a lot of different segments. For instance, I saw one where Pauline and Daisy were swapped, so it's probably how you unlock them. And also, don't pay attention to the dots at the bottom that shows how many pages there are. There might seem like a lot of pages, but that doesn't confirm how many characters, as some of the pages have costume alts for the characters, which kind of work as separate characters, which I'm not a big fan of. Hopefully there's an option just to tack them onto a single character, because they're alts at the end of the day. Counting the actual characters, we found out there is about 50 already confirmed. There are no kart customizations this time around. Yep, no tires and no gliders that you have to actually attach. Instead, it's just pick a kart and go. Now, each kart still has its stats, but I actually prefer it this way. It makes it a lot more simple, and you don't have to rock an ugly combo just to compete. You start a race, your character will do a little intro animation, and he actually does it in different ways. For instance, there's another lap where it's a completely different one for Mario. There's a new gold shell item in the game where if you throw it, it will go up the middle of the track and drop a line of coins before exploding and dropping a ring of coins at the end. Your counter can now go up to 20 coins max. It's confirmed they work pretty much the same way as the last game, so you're going to collect coins to get a small speed boost, but now up to 20. All items now automatically hang behind you without you having to use the R buttons. Now, I have watched lots of footage, and no, not any ordinary item can block incoming item. It must be a defensive item. I've seen gameplay of people still getting hit holding a super feather or even a super horn and not using it. It still will hit you. It needs to be something like a shell or banana. There's lots of scenes where it looks like you can just hold a bob-omb behind you and ram it into players without you taking damage. Now, I believe in certain situations this was actually still a thing in Mario Kart 8, and I just don't know if it's going to be effective with items, because normally if you're holding a bomb and you get hit with an item without letting it go, you take damage as well, but I haven't seen anything like that yet. It seems like you're pretty invincible with the bob-omb so far. It looks like the red shells can also go up on the rails, as a red one just passes Mario up on the rail and dodges across the lane to hit Donkey Kong to the left. Lightning strikes now have a new animation, but what's also really cool about it is once it strikes, it actually changes the weather for a short while, making it kind of rainy and cloudy in the sky, which actually affects the entire course. Also, when it rains, there's tons of details now. For instance, it'll turn the dirt into mud, and you can actually see the mud start to tack on to Mario's tires. And you can actually see the water splatter on Mario's hat and the damp spots as well. Now, we have learned that the roads between each track is technically a track. Again, just one long one with multiple checkpoints. And you'll see these long stretches that go from course to course, but they can be drastically different depending on the direction that you're coming from. All those white lines are actually roads that you'll take in between each course, and you'll be going down them in both directions, which will change how they look and how they work. And there's a lot of them, which means there's not only just 29 courses, which there are going to be a total of 30 because we did get leaked a Rainbow Road will appear eventually, but there's also tons of different tracks if you count all the long straightaway roads, which there's a lot of them. When you start one of these straightaway tracks, you'll notice that you'll start while you're already in motion, and you still can have the boost start up if you time it right. One thing that I mentioned before, but I just think it's so neat, is that every car that's on the road driving toward you actually has an enemy or some type of character driving them. You'll see a Toad, a Shy Guy, or a Koopa Troopa actually within the car, and even the buses. If you look closely, the buses are full of different characters. The characters will even have reactions if you're about to hit them, or if you're slamming into their car, they'll just like freak out. On this desert track, you can actually see a bully enemy that sees Mario and charges after him. You can see an exclamation mark pop up before he starts chasing Mario and Donkey Kong. Another new feature is you can do multiple tricks in the air now. You don't only have to do one, you can flip and flop around to your heart's desire. This is one where I don't know how I feel. Sometimes you'll do 2 laps just getting to the actual real track, and once you get there, you'll only do 1 lap around the actual track for your third lap, which is kind of weird. I hope there's a way to toggle this off, and if you want to just play it classic style by playing all the tracks and just doing 3 laps around that one track. But yeah, it looks like a lot of the time you'll be spending 2 of those laps just driving to the actual course. The Super Feather actually makes an appearance in the racing mode this time and not just battle. And what's interesting about it is one of the devs in the treehouse actually tried to use the Super Feather to hop over the blue shell explosion. Now, I don't know if this is just something he did just to get rid of the item, or is there actually some type of strat that you can use in order to jump over the explosion, but it was interesting nevertheless. Now, it looks like there's a unique physics system depending on how you're moving when you get hit. It seemed like jumping up in the air gave Mario more flips and actually made him land on his head once hit by the blue shell, because there's other scenes where the blue shell just simply flips you. So maybe there's a lot of kart physics that depends on how you're flipping and tossing around after getting hit by an item. For this section, I want to take time to talk about the music, because you'll hear lots of themes from past games, and not just Mario Kart, but I'll get into those when we get there. But for now, I just want to talk about the ones from past Mario Kart games. Like, for instance, you'll hear the remixed version of Tokyo Blur, for instance, in this cross section leading into the next track.
Characters there.
Start. Don't forget that boost, Sam. There you go. You got it.
Thank you.
I
All the
gotcha.
toads. They're so cute.
A little delicatessen. There's a diner again.
Diners.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of diner, here we go.
Yes.
Let's
Get
get
a
some
little
dash.
snack. Yeah, there we
In
go.
this section, leaving Whistle Stop Summit, you'll hear a remixed version of Ribbon Road, which sounds more Wild Wild West themed.
Off of him. Yeah, nice.
Oh! See, there was a little ramp up there to that power line, so you can rail ride on those power lines.
So cool.
All right, you got this. You got 2 items
I
coming.
did hear the same exact thing being played for Sky High Sunday, I just don't have it here. The same exact version from Mario Kart 8 for Sherbert Land. So it seems like some tracks have remixes and some are just pulled straight from Mario Kart 8, which is a little strange to me. The other themes I've heard so far is Choco Mountain on an in-between track, which is a remix, Moo Moo Meadows' actual theme track, which is pulled straight from 8, Mario Circuit does have a remix in this game with the Mario Circuit track, Vancouver Velocity, my personal favorite, was played in in-between track and it was remixed, DK Summit has a remix for the actual track, and I even heard a Koopaling boss fight theme from New Super Mario Bros. And it's remixed for one of the in-between tracks. There's probably a couple more out there from people's actual in-person gameplay. It looks like you'll be having lots of Mario Kart throwback songs to listen to even on the in-between tracks as you're racing to the next one, which is pretty cool. When you grab one of the food bags, it gives you a food item and actually gives you a boost like a mushroom as well, and adds the outfit for your collection. So you can either go for these bags in races, which you still get a speed boost, so it's definitely worth it, or you can jump into free roam and collect the bags too. There's multiple ways to get costumes in this game. One thing you might be wondering is, are these straightaways completely boring and they're just straight paths as you're getting to the next track? Not necessarily. Nintendo has done things to actually, caution this by adding tons of different enemies and objects on the tracks. For instance, you'll see lots of pickup trucks with giant enemies on the back, giant piranha plants that will try to bite you, or giant spikes that will toss out giant spike balls that will roll down the road. You'll even come across some things, for instance, like giant bonsai bills just flying down the street. As we saw in the trailer, there's things like semi-trucks that we can drive into and even control, or even DK barrels that we can blast forward. So it seems like these straightaways are going to have lots of unique things to keep us entertained, even though they are straighter tracks. One thing you'll also notice is that lots of the explosion items actually have words that kind of let you know that an explosion is going off. For instance, bombs will say boom in big letters, and the super horns will say beep in big letters, and the blue shell itself will even say kaboom in big letters as well. Also, did you notice the explosion for the blue shell is new and has little blue spikes coming out of the explosion? Now, I've seen this one a lot, and I've been trying to look and see if this is actually what's happening. It looks like you're actually able to bounce off of the head of another racer instead of just coming down and clashing with them in a weird, awkward way. You can actually continue your momentum and bounce off their head, it looks like, because Mario loses no momentum as he jumps off of Donkey Kong. On the Donkey Kong Spaceport track, it actually plays a remix of the OG Donkey Kong arcade game. And on the last lap, it actually plays the Hammer power-up theme from that game as well.
Good.
5 more laps to go. 4 now.
So this is,
Can you make that?
can I do it?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Get the
Come
coin at
on.
least. Oh,
Maybe
no.
Oh, that barrel took a turn. Okay.
Okay, you
where
got
is
this.
he?
You got this.
Now it's getting
Is he
tense.
behind you?
Hit
Okay, he's
those
behind
While
you.
Mario's doing wall jumps, flips, and tricks and riding rails, the Treehouse Members actually brings up that you can in fact dodge some red shells with this. So doing multiple tricks or trying a wall jump or straight up just jumping off of grind rails could end up saving you in the long run. Now they gave us a little look at free roam, and we can actually see the map where every single character has about 9 new costumes to collect and that you can actually find for them, I guess, within that region. Also, every city has 10 unique costumes for somebody that you need to find. In fact, these probably aren't even costumes as they're nothing but question blocks. And if you look at the bottom left, you have a counter for P-switches to find, question blocks, and some type of gold peach coins. So maybe there's certain things that you have to collect in each region that aren't just costumes all the time. I've also noticed the Mario Odyssey binoculars, and I've seen them in actually a lot of different regions, and they seem to be connected by a long winding cord that goes off into the background. So maybe there's a switch somewhere that we had to actually step on in order to use this for some reason. Maybe it's just simply a lookout, which is weird since we have a 3D kind of third camera mini map down at the bottom right. So what these are for, I really don't know. That brings me back to the mini map at the bottom right that kind of works like a second camera. I mean, it shows you a giant third-person view in the sky of everything that you're around. So if there's some type of secret that you can't see, you can actually see it just from the map and then drive to it yourself. For instance, you can see a P-switch up on the cliff here, and simply just seeing it on this map can point out directions for you as to where to go next. Something else you'll probably notice is Mario has some type of picnic box at the top left, and we never really get to see what it does. It could just be another food item that gives you a costume or something, but I can't help but to think that it might have a more important usage. For instance, maybe delivering it as like some type of side quest where you have to deliver fruit or food to different racers or NPCs on the map. It seems like there's some type of achievement system in this game as well, at least for the free roam mode. As you can see at the bottom, it states you drove 300 kilometers total, and beside it is some type of advertisement for banana natural oil. Now in another gameplay, it rewards Hammer Bro with the same exact thing, but the advertisement is different. It's from Birdo Jewelry, and I'm wondering if these are like advertising stickers that you can add to your cart or to your character. There's a couple characters where I saw tons of stickers plastered to their helmets. There could even be like an advertisement sticker or stamp book where you collect these different advertisements or something, but it's weird that it is for the same achievement and they're different advertisement stickers. When the loading screen is active, you'll see an item box roulette at the bottom right. It'll actually land on different things each time and actually show the character come to life from it, like the booze popping out. Now, I don't know if this is only when you're driving through the city at night, is it just this specific location at night, but at least for this location, which seems to be Crown City at night, it actually plays the Mario 64 Piranha Plant Lullaby theme song, and it is remixed.
And there are weather systems too that can affect the way things look. I want to let this shy guy
saw
pass
that
me
rain.
so I could drive, get a little bit off course here so you can get an idea of what it's like to drive around.
Pre-game lobbies will now put you in the open world with your friends as you wait to start up the lobby, which is pretty cool. So you're not just standing on a globe and waiting for everybody to join. You actually can just drive around and mess around and maybe even collect some things for your own open world as you play around in there. You can also see you can push the D-pad up in order to have a little chat dialogue. So probably just like putting up emojis and stuff so you can like barely communicate with your friends. You know how Nintendo works. Like, I'm using tilt controls or something. When starting up the game, it looks like there's 4 different options that you can choose. Right now it's on Knockout Tour. The first one's probably Grand Tour, and the last 2, I'm not sure. One looks like a balloon and one looks like a yellow coin. So it's probably battle mode and some other type of mode that they added as well. You can also see your different options like the class for how fast you can go. 150cc is not the highest. As you can see, the arrow still allows you to go further, but they just don't click it. It might even give us like an option to go even faster, which would be crazy. Could you imagine faster than 200? There's also an option for race count and intermission, so I'm sure there'll be some type of way that you can choose to just race on the specific tracks instead of just racing on the, in between tracks to get to those new tracks as well. So kind of like just classic cups and stuff. But also notice how computer difficulty has an arrow to the right still. It doesn't look grayed out or anything, probably showing that maybe you can pick even more difficult races. You can make the computer maybe even very hard, which is crazy to even think about. The boomerang item can now be used more than 3 times, and it actually has a new item box animation to show this. It'll show liquid draining from the item box, and it shows you pretty much how much left of the item you have. The food changes depending on the region that you're in. It's not always a burger. For instance, in this kind of oriental area, you'll get a takoyaki. The desert area, you get some type of weird poke dish, and it looks like maybe an Indian inspired dish. One looks spicier than the other as well. Looks like there's 2 different options. There's like even like a little thing of naan with it. And the same thing with the Moo Moo Meadows track, which can either give you a bottle of milk or 2 different versions of an ice cream cup. one with toppings on top and one without, which is very strange to me. When they eat these items, it doesn't really seem to do anything. I don't know if maybe it's because they're not characters that can have alternate costumes, like that's only for some of the main characters, like Cow only has one costume or something. I don't know. You still get a speed boost, so maybe it depends on what type of treat you actually pull. Maybe the one with the toppings give you more of a boost than the ones without, so I don't know. Here we get a better look at the Kamek item and how it works. One player will spawn Kamek, and Kamek will fly ahead of the pack, changing everybody that it hits with its magic into some type of enemy or creature. I think it's also track dependent. Since we're on water, Kamek will try to turn racers into Cheep Cheeps. Kamek can also spawn enemies ahead of the racers, as well as changing the racer's appearance. If you bump the side of a car, you won't take spin out damage. Instead, you'll just bump on your side 2 tires. So it looks like, once again, it's a physics-based Mario Kart game. If you hit something too hard, or like Baby Daisy hitting this car head on, you actually will flip all the way over. And if you flip over, you're still not out of the race necessarily. You don't really spin out, you keep your momentum to move forward. Here's a couple more Easter eggs for you. The new Super Mario Bros. Desert theme song actually plays within this tree world in the hub area, or at least the open world area, as the racers are waiting for the next race.
Take a photo.
What a crew. Look at this.
All right, let's commemorate our match here.
Band of misfits over here.
In the water area, you can actually hear the Yoshi's Tale theme from Yoshi's Story. You're going to be pulling from some random songs for sure in this game.
And the weather is different when you visit this course in free roam mode. You know, you can see it during the daylight. You can see it when it's sunny outside. And so, yeah, this is an example of another one of those.
There's also tons of non-wildlife and just straight up enemy creatures from past games, like the Bulber and also the giant dragon eel from New Super Mario Bros. You can see swimming in the background. But I don't go anywhere near the creatures, and I think there's a reason why, because right afterwards, the guy that's actually playing the game says, "Do not worry, there is a lot more to free roam that we can't share right now. You'll learn more in the Nintendo Direct in a couple of weeks." So obviously, I'm sure free roam is going to have some exciting new things to it. Now, I don't know if this is only in free roam, but you can actually park in front of the cars, and the cars will get backed up like traffic, and they won't move if you're in front of them. Last but not least, you can hear the Sunshine Airport theme from Mario Kart 8 playing, and it is remixed before they start the race.
So we have playing we have Kendra, we have EK, Kay, and Dutch playing.
All right, let's go to the ice one. Yeah.
So that ended up being more along the lines of 50 new facts. Yes, I was kind of updating it with the last Treehouse event of today, so everything is caught up even with today's Treehouse. I made sure I give you guys all the information from what I've seen so far, and there still could be some things that I missed, so let me know in the comments down below if you caught anything else that was new from the Treehouse events. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario Kart World before you go, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.